Good morning and welcome to Dawn PARRY JUKEBOX Judgement, coming in from the Philippines today. All of the artists, well, not all the artists in the Philippines, but Filipino artists who are have submitted their brand new songs for JUKEBOX Judgement as part of the AXEAN festival that goes on in Bali at the end of September this year. Well, this morning we have the record producer judges who've joined us. We have Steve Lillywhite, we have Barry Upton, we have Steve James, we have Luke Mornay, we have, it says Leah Kavanagh. That's not the person. we have Mike Bennett with us this morning. Good morning, lovely record producers.
Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning.
Hello.
Well, we are hoping to have with us this morning all sorts of lovely submissions from the Philippines. Now, the Philippines is renowned for quite a lot of K-pop. They usually, in fact, sing covers. So this is quite something to find songs that are original. We have 10 submissions from the Philippines. They have been filtered by the AXEAN hosts. And so shall we listen to the first one? Or would you lot like to say something? Steve, I think you should say something.
I will just say good morning to everyone in the Philippines. I had a wonderful time there in my one trip about 5 years ago. Welcome.
Thank you. And Steve's not been in an accident, I should say, for those of you who will be watching this video later. But he's been having a bit of a hairdo. Barry Upton, good morning.
Morning. And I have a lot of Filipino friends over here in Thailand. Pretty much all of them musicians, and they are wonderful musicians. They're incredibly talented. The only thing is, I've not really heard any original material from it. Well, there's one musician who had a go, and it wasn't that great. So I'm really looking forward to hearing something on the show today.
Okay, thank you, and good morning to Steve James coming in from Brisbane.
Good afternoon. Hello. Well, it's strange. I'm working with quite a few bands who are actually touring up there very soon, which is great. And also another band from New Zealand that have got a record deal in in the Philippines, which is unusual. But through Warner's, believe it or not. So yes, there is quite a bit of contact going on between Australia, and a lot of bands from here are starting to actually do that tour now, which is good.
Wonderful.
Instead of having to fly to Europe.
Lovely. Thank you, Steve James. And Luke Mornay?
Hey, how are you?
You're coming in from Brussels this morning.
Coming from Brussels. I'm planning a trip in the Philippines, so it's in my bucket list.
Wonderful.
And this morning we'll start with the music.
That's superb. Great. Well, let's hope we find some magic star there in the Philippines. And Mike Bennett, who is also not only a record producer, playwright extraordinaire and scriptwriter, of course, and author, but also frontman of the Blockheads. Good morning, Mike Bennett.
Good morning. I lived in Los Angeles with a Filipino girl, and they're very family related, actually, and some of the indigenous music instruments they play are great, but they seem to like quite a lot of heavy metal as well. So, the ones that I did liked heavy metal, but I'm very interested to hear what comes out of this show.
Okay, well, I think we all are. Well, okay, now then, I'm just being asked because I have a team helping me, thankfully, with the information with regards to each different artist. Now, we are going to be playing the very first artist, and I will initially play the song, and then once the song has been played, and I will name the artist. Once that's the case, I will then, before we each give our verdicts, explain a little bit about the background, whatever the artists have sent in or my researchers have discovered. Okay, so this is Mazza Boy, or Meza Boy, Mazza Boy, I think, and it is The Naked Eye.
done. Often getting told that I should clear my vision. Where do I belong? Oh baby, you don't know. Oh, I know. Feet on the run for a while until what's behind is gone.
That was Mazza Boy and Mind the Naked Eye. Steve Lillywhite, would you like to go first?
Yes, there's some great things in there. Really good guitar riffs, and I love a song in 7 that kept going from 7 to. Am I blocking out?
No, not at all. I suddenly remembered, of course, I'm so used to us doing the bit about the artist first and then going straight to the song. I've done this slightly. I should just give a little quick background.
Quick background, yes.
Yes, I do apologise, Steve. So the band are called Mazza Boy. Song is titled Mind the Naked Eye. And the meaning of the song, it's about being authentic to one's principles, regardless of being under what's recognised. An anthem for the unsung or misunderstood artist to push through, stick to and fight for what ignited them to create in the first place. And there's a bit of insider info put in here as well, which is I was hooked on St. Vincent's Marrow when I was working on the song and thought, why not incorporate some fuzzed out guitar sounds in my songs? So I went online and thrifted the cheapest fuzz pedal I could find, he says. There we go. So Steve Lillywhite.
Yes, as I say, he did a very good job. You don't have to have expensive equipment to make it sound good. That's a fallacy for rich people. You know, you can have cheap equipment as long as you use it in a good way. And as I say, I love the song. It's in part of it is in 7, part of it is in a waltz. And one thing I thought though is that the low vocal all the time, I kept thinking it may be nice to do an octave high vocal singing along with the low voice, just to it would have given it a slightly more Asian feel as well. And it could have been quite attractive. I'm sure if there's someone in the band, or they could get a friend in, or even the lead singer might have been able to sing an octave higher, and you would have had a nice octaves singing, not all the time, but choose places. That, and I think maybe it was a little long. It could just be shortened a little bit, but a great start.
Thank you very much, Steve Lillywhite. Barry Upton.
Well, it seems that Filipino acts, they love the early 70s English prog rock. And I've got a friend who's an amazing keyboard player, Filipino, and he loves those early 70s or late 70s mini moog sounds and the kind of prog rock sound. At the same time, he loves Bruno Mars. So it's a kind of a bit of a dichotomy there. The 7/4 thing was the prog rock type of sound. I thought the guitars were great. The vocal work was very interesting, but as Steve said, it needed something to make it a little bit more interesting as the song went on, because it just stayed in that kind of monotonal sound. So really and truly, if he could have varied his vocal a little bit further into the track, it would have been a bonus. But a nice start. It's a very interesting song.
Thank you, Barry Upton. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, well, I'm totally with the guys on that. I really love the track, really great production and great vocals, great riffs as well. But totally, something's missing in the higher voices to keep it interesting at some point. That's all. But I loved it. I love the track, but it's really that was missing, the missing point. And like Steve said, maybe it's a bit too long.
Okay, thank you very much. And Steve James.
Well, the first thing I wrote here was he needs to sing up the octave in the second verse.
Right, there we go.
Both of them, like Squeeze used to do. I thought that was, but otherwise, what a fantastic start. That was really cool. I thought great guitar riffs, nice guitar sound, well mixed as well. There was good space between everything. What else did I write here? Yes, it was a bit too long, but I loved the solo. I thought the solo was great as well, because it was melodic but interesting. I thought, no, that was really cool. Absolutely. The vocals do sorry.
Can I ask you, as a drummer, because there was one section when it sort of stopped and then it came back in, and the drumming felt as though it changed just slightly. It was sort of, there was like it was tripping along. Did that make you think anything, or?
No, not really. I think it's a machine. I don't think it's a drum. I think it's definitely a machine, but it's well programmed and it was really well put together. I particularly like the way he reversed it and played the drum track on the right-hand side and made it all lo-fi. That was really kind of cool too. The production, what he's done in there is really quite good, but I agree 100%. The vocals needed the octave on the second verse. First verse was cool being down. Second verse needed to go up, and then it needed to explode a bit more. He could even come down a bit on the third, but excellent. Great start. Well done.
Okay, thank you. And Mike Bennett.
That riff, which did sound very retro, but retrospective is in, reminded me a bit of Franz Ferdinand. But yeah, I down here that what would be quite interesting is a choir coming in, maybe even a kids choir or something like that, and a little bit more variation on the EQs. And when it stopped and came back, I wouldn't have brought it back. I would have stopped it there. Although I must say that the riff is a contagious riff. It's a great song and a great start to a show.
Agreed.
Thank you very much, Mike Bennett. And okay, so that was Mazzaboy and Mind the Naked Eye. Let's move on to the next track. This one is from Suyen and it's called Sonic Tonic.
I'm going crazy without it. I
Suyen, and that is Sonic Tonic. Now, about the artist. Stroke band. Suyen, step into the sonic world of Suyen, a boundary-pushing musical maven whose artistic ethos revolves around the fusion of grunge and pop. With an insatiable appetite for exploration, she fearlessly navigates the blurred lines between genres, crafting a sound that is uniquely her own. And so the title song, Sonic Tonic, the band Suyen, and the song meaning is about enjoying the present and having fun with your friends. It inspires you to appreciate life. These are translations, remember, please, that I'm reading out here. Mike Bennett, would you like to go first?
Loved it. Had a massive hook. It was anthemic. It was fun. It had drama. It had a lot going on, but it wasn't too much. It wasn't cluttered. And the vocal was naive, but in a really good way. And the hook reminded me of something like Atomic by Blondie or something like that. It was that catchy. I think that if I was to play around with it, I'd put an eventide harmonizer on the chorus or something like that to make it even bigger. But I thought it was very good. It had entertainment. It had drama. It was excellent. What a great start to a great show. Two crackers.
Thank you very much, Mike Bennett. Luc Mornay.
Yeah, I love the track as well. The only thing I felt was missing a bit of punch was missing in the track. And also I would have loved to hear some more electronic elements to it, harder sounds to harmonize the track even better, you know. Because it reminded me somehow, of All Saints in a way, you know?
Yes.
And with the productions with William Orbit and stuff like that. So it would have been nice to have more elements to give it more, let's say, more depth and space and a bit more punch. But the track is brilliant. I loved it.
Thank you. And Steve James.
Great. Again, the mix, I think, lets it down a bit. Did you know, everybody noticed that was actually much quieter than the track before? It was just a bit thick. I did find it difficult to understand what she was saying because there was so much nose in the vocal sound. But cool. I'd love to have understood it a little bit more. Nice playing, good arrangement. Definitely, that was a real drummer playing. The drums could have been louder.
Okay.
But very cool, I thought. And you're right, quite Seattle-y with the way the na-na-na when it goes to those notes. That's really quite that sort of Seattle vibe. I've picked up on that a little bit, but very good. Excellent start, as we're saying. Really good track. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve James. Barry Upton.
Yeah, I really liked it. I think that's going to be one that you're going to be playing quite a bit, I think, on your radio show, because it sounded like a radio record. I loved the fact that it went from like minor to major in the chorus, and that major note, that third, really made the melody stand out and become good, sticks in your head a little bit. The verses probably need developing just a little bit, maybe. That they were pretty standard tune-wise. And the only other thing I felt was that the chorus after the break maybe just needed a breakdown or needed just something fresh to prick up your ears. But that's a very small thing, really. I think overall it was really good. And what you said about their description of their music, sometimes they're not quite as we would hear them, but I agree. They're blurring between two genres. And I'm a big fan of that. I love that.
Thank you, Barry Upton. Steve Lillywhite.
Yes, I think this is a great chorus. You know, the chorus is really good, really sing along. I mean, I've heard Blondie mentioned. I've heard All Saints mentioned. I'd like to throw in Garbage as well. Not the thing that you throw out, but the band.
Yes.
They sounded
It's
like
all rubbish.
It's all rubbish. No, it sounded great. Again, great guitar playing, nothing fancy, but very intelligent playing. It wasn't nerdly, as we used to say, you know, which was just like playing a load of notes just for the sake of being a musician. It was cleverly thought out. Very good.
Thank you very much. Well, Barry Upton, you said it's a radio record and you're sure I'll be playing it on my show. Well, Do you know what?
All right.
Well, I liked it, and personally, I love the major to minor, minor to majors.
Yes.
It works very powerfully. It does set the hook. For me personally, I would like to see the vocal up slightly in that mix somewhat, so that we can make out, the words very clearly that are being said. But also, I'd also love to hear the whole thing have a little bit more punch to it, and maybe more play on that fabulous chorus, because that really is a great hook. Steve, you mentioned Garbage. Garbage are currently number 1 in the official Legacy chart here on 365 Radio, which is it's pretty cool. And it just took them 2 weeks to get there. Well, that was Suyen and Sonic Tonic. Suyen, that was really good. Very good. Most enjoyable. So the next artists we have are called Siga, Siga, and the track is called One Click Straight. Or is it the other way around? The song could be Sika and One Click Straight. Well, I'll let me have a look. Let's see. Because somewhere here, I will have details on this. Not yet. Okay, we're going to play this track first.
Ito na naman, palagi lang siya nakabang. Hinihintay ka lang mapahiya ulit. Hindi niya daw sinasadya, di daw siya may pakana. Ang buhay ay sadyang ganyan hanggang sa huli. Palaging naruto, pinaglalaruan. Kapag ayaw ibibigay talaga sa'yo, palagi ng pabiro, pinagtatawanan. Kapag gusto alam, hindi mangyayari ito. Kabaliktaran lang ang para sa'yo. Saan ba galing ang hinanakit? Paano ba magkakabati? Kailan ba itong buhay na wala ang siga niya pa rin talaga? Sino nga ka ba naman para maging masaya? Pagtitripan ang alam na masusumbungan. But we don't care, even life is unfair. Yeah, we don't care, even life is unfair. Kinaya akitin ito, biglang mahihila pababa. Palagi naruto, pinaglalaruan. Kapag ayaw ibibigay talaga sa'yo, palagi ng pabiro, pinagtatawanan. Kapag gusto alam, hindi mangyayari ito. Kabaliktaran lang ang para sa'yo. Para sa'yo. We don't care, even life is unfair. Yeah, we don't care, even life is unfair. Yeah, we don't care, even life is unfair. Yeah, we don't care, we don't care, we don't care, we don't care, we don't. Ito na naman, palagi lang siyang nakabang. Hinihintay ka lang mapahiya ulit. Palagi naruto, pinaglalaruan. Kapag ayaw ibibigay talaga sa'yo, palagi ng pabiro, pinagtatawanan. Kapag gusto alam, hindi mangyayari ito. Kabaliktaran lang ang para
That was Sega, One Click Straight. So the song is Sega. And interestingly, that actually had everything that we were talking about that wasn't in the one previously. But great. Yeah, lovely. So track Sega is straight out of the studio. So this is the first radio play of the song as well. And the band is actually called One Click Straight. The meaning of the song, first of all, Philippine-based indie post-pop band One Click Straight is known through their unique and authentic music. They've built a reputation of creating waves of rad times. Does that mean radical times? I'm not sure. Rad times, anyway. And giving an exceptional live experience with their world-class performance at every show. They played at Phil's studio in Singapore 2 weeks ago, and we can attest that they are a fun band to see live. The song meaning, Sega, is a song that personifies life as a bully with hints of a positive, apathetic attitude toward life's cynical values. This track is dedicated to the people who push forward despite modern-day struggles and unfair nature. And of course, the Filipino language, which we just heard in that track there, along with some English as well, is Tagalog. Steve James, would you like to go first?
Loved it. Another winner. I thought that was great. Great production. The drums everything about it was really worked well for me. When it stopped at the end and he went really quiet.
Yes.
That's where it should have ended, I thought. And then it came back with another chorus. But otherwise, I thought that was really cool. Nicely produced, good mix. What else have I written here? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It didn't need the last chorus, but otherwise, I just thought that was great. Really well put together. I wish I understood what they were saying, but it was good, really good, very good indeed, and much louder.
The other Steve Lillywhite.
Oh yes, that was my kind of song. I thought of all the songs that we've heard so far, those verses were fantastic. Really intelligently put together. You've got the small thing. And it's quite funny. I was never a real fan of the Smashing Pumpkins. This band are. And this is probably better than all except 1979, which was a brilliant Smashing Pumpkins song. I think it's my favorite Smashing Pumpkins song other than that one. I think it's great. It really works. And I love the production. The musicianship so far that we've heard from the Philippines is outstanding. And it's hooks. It's got hooks everywhere. The verse is a great hook because it's down, and then and it's exciting because you've got all these wonderful sounds coming in and out. No, that for me, that's my favorite so far.
Thank you, Steve Lillywhite. Barry Upton.
Yeah, I loved it as well. The thing is, it doesn't matter if it's not in English because the melody was good, and the way that the lyrics sounded was good, and that's an important part of it. It packs a punch. It's a great arrangement, and I love the dynamics in the arrangement as well. It's from the verses, the chorus, and then back again. I think it's a good radio record, and it doesn't matter that we don't understand the lyrics on this one.
No.
So, you know me, I'm a stickler for lyrics, but it really doesn't matter. And Tagalog, actually, I didn't think it sounded as good because I've not heard so many songs. All the Filipino musicians over here, who are all brilliant, by the way, they're all great singers, brilliant musicians. I don't know of a bad one. And I don't hear them singing in Tagalog, and that's the first time. It sounded a little bit French. I'm sure that Luke can put us right on that if it sounds close to French or not. But I liked it.
No, it doesn't sound close to French at all. But anyway, let's. Thank you very much, Barry Upton. Mike Bennett.
Well, I thought it was great. It reminded me, in a strange way, of Fostering the People that had that kind of catchy element to it. Lots of enveloping elements that kept me drawn in. Lots of drama. I said before, drama is always good in a song. And I thought it was fantastic. The best so far.
Thank you very much, Mike Bennett. And Luke Mornay.
Yeah, it's the same for me. It's my favorite track so far. they were really good at building anticipation at every time. From the beginning, I was like, when the track started, I was like, I loved it from the start, and I hope that they would continue to deliver. And they did, throughout the track. Everybody was really good on that. And the production was great. The delivery by everyone was great. It's my favorite track so far. I loved it.
Okay, now, from a radio airplay perspective, oh my goodness, will I play that? Yes, absolutely. The very start of it made me feel unsure about, what was going to come. And then it just came, it's kind of poured itself over us and crashed in. And I loved that. It was very exciting. And as you've said, Barry, the lyrics, the music transcends all of that. So they don't matter one way or the other, but the exciting sound and the anticipation that's created all the way along, as you say, Luke, absolutely superb. Loved it. And the drama, Mike Bennett, absolutely spot on. And I loved, Steve, you know what we were talking about in the previous track, a couple of tracks ago, the very first song, the lack of the octave above. This, it just did it to perfection.
It works, yeah. The structure of the song was much more sound than that first song. That first song needs some work on the song. This song was as good as it can be because you've got the hooks, you've got the chorus, you've got a verse that's as good as the chorus. Oh my God. That verse was gold.
It was.
I mean, really, because you had energy, but it was brought right down. Yes, it did sound a little bit like a Smashing Pumpkins sort of Nirvana-y type thing, but it was their own style. It was their own thing. They owned that.
Very much so. And of course, one of the artists we heard earlier, Suyin, who lacked that punch in the song. Suyin, if you can, have a listen carefully to what came from the track Sega just then, that's the punch and the anticipation, the excitement that we're looking for in all of these wonderful tracks that we're hearing. Okay, so the next artist is, let me see, what have we got? The song title is Machina, and so that's Machina, and the band is O Flamingo. Ooh la la, I like the sound of this already.
Sikot di mapakali, kailan pa ako makakauwi? Paikot-ikot nakakapraning, kailan pa ako makakarating?
band is O Flamingo and the song is called Machina. So let's just have a look here at the details. O Flamingo is the name of the band, and as I just said there, and about the band. O Flamingo are an alternative rock quartet, and they've established themselves as one of the most prominent indie bands in the Filipino music scene over the past 10 years. Known for their blend of catchy hooks and off-kilter arrangements, they've toured extensively around the region. And the song Machina, pronounced Machina, but spelt M-A-K-I-N-A. And the song Machina, which translates to machine or engine in English, is about the dread of the daily commute and transportation in the Philippines. Yes, that's how bad it is. It sounds a bit like Jakarta, Steve. And the lyrics are accompanied by the song's fast-paced and erratic arrangement, which embodies the unpredictability of living in Manila. Barry Upton, would you like to go first?
Well, it kind of, you can see that picture. It sounded a little bit messy and a little bit avant-garde, I think, in places. But I liked it. I liked it to a certain extent. I would have liked to have heard it tighter. I'd have liked to have heard the double track a little bit tighter rather than that was a little bit too loose for me. Again, you had that prog rock thing, which it seems to infiltrate the Philippines so much. And I also think the vocal needs to just gel with the backing track a little bit more than it did. But the musicianship is fabulous. It's frantic. And it could be tighter, but maybe that's not what they want. And they want that kind of franticness to sort of like to create the picture that, as you were saying, about the traffic. So I think they've achieved that without a doubt. And it's interesting. That's all I can say is very interesting.
Thank you. And Mike Bennett.
Having done several albums with The Fall, I should get off kilter. I was wondering whether it could be slightly less off-kilter, but as Barry said, perhaps that's what they want. What I'm hearing with all of these groups is a fantastic ability to experiment, and I think it's great that they are doing that, and I'd like to hear more from this band.
Okay, thank you. Steve Lillywhite.
Yes, there were moments in the track that were fantastic. And there were moments in the track where I felt that they, and this sounds a terrible thing to say, I got the feeling that maybe they have rehearsed a little bit too much and they've made it just a little bit overcomplicated. Whereas, I know this, the more you rehearse, the more you add little pieces into a song and the more you think, oh, I can remember it, so it's good, and you can sometimes lose what you really want to have from that song. And maybe they overcooked it a little bit, I feel, but perhaps that's what they want, as others have said. And there's certainly, I've worked with jam bands, and it reminded me in elements of jam band from America, which is not a bad thing. It's a very, very, very successful genre. So it was good. It didn't quite nail it for me, but still, look, let me put it into perspective. We've heard some great songs, and this is not even my least favorite today. But in general, the quality is good. Just feel like they've overcooked it, and just a little bit more on perhaps the writing side of the song, and a little bit less on the rehearsing side.
Well, of course, the problem with overcooking things is as well that they lose an element of excitement and that little touch of unpredictability that does spark your interest when you're listening to songs, especially new songs like this, I think. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, I will go with Steve also on that. It felt like it was built like a live performance. So it must be really good live. But as a listener, I felt kind of left out at some point, and didn't really connect with the track. But the musicians are great, are fantastic musicians. The band is great, but as a record, it didn't work for me in the current, let's say, shape and form.
Okay, thank you very much. Steve James.
Mike's quite right about the fact all this experimentation is very refreshing to hear, and it's brilliant. I love it. But they say the off-kilter arrangement, that's a bit too off-kilter, I think. And also some of the pitching of the vocals upset me a little bit. It doesn't need to be double track like that. I did find the pitching in the verses really quite pushing it a little. But amazing playing, and I love the way that they're just having, let's just put this bit in here and try that and try this. And it's extremely interesting. And what else did the double tracking was difficult to hear, to be honest, but otherwise great, really cool. But simplify it. It is too complex, and it's difficult to hold on to it. You don't ever get to a bit, oh, I love that bit. Once you get, oh, it's moved on to another bit, and then another bit. You need to sort of just settle down. But I see what they're getting at, but it's cool. But a little bit more work is needed, or possibly, like Steve says, a little less.
A little less rehearsed work, yes. In its current state, you see, for radio airplay, I didn't feel that held my attention enough at all. And when it was going into that chorus with it, it wasn't. Well, it wasn't taking us there with it, I would, yeah, as Steve says, try a bit less hard, I think, in that instance. That was O Flamingo, the name of the band, and the track Machina. Well, let's move on to the next one. And this is... Oh, there it is. It's Rusty Machine is the name of the artist, Rusty Machines, and the song is called What Went Wrong.
Decided to
What Went Wrong, and the band are Rusty Machines. Now, let's have a look about the artist. So the band Rusty Machines are a 4-piece indie rock band based in Manila, the Philippines. They formed in 2012. They make music that expands the space it occupies to stretch the floor in order to make room for big movements if you're by yourself, or share a brisk intimacy with a mass of bodies aiming for solace without solitary. They are a product of a world that nostalgia built, with its increased desire for human connection and endless quest to find one's identity. The song title, What Went Wrong, and the meaning of the song is it's about being aware of your own failures on your side of the relationship and accepting that not all relationships are salvageable. Indeed, sometimes you just have to let people go, darlings. Okay, Steve, James, would you like to go first?
Oh, well, they love their Britpop, don't they? It was good, but it sort of meandered a bit for me, and I couldn't understand what he was saying. The vocal was too buried, and the mix, it needs a mix, in my opinion. But it was okay. The song wasn't. There wasn't a lot of energy there. I didn't feel. It was a little bit flat, to be fair. Nice. It was not nice playing again, but yeah, the mix lets it down a little for me. I really couldn't understand what I was desperately putting my ears closer to the speakers to try and hear what was going on vocally. Yeah, okay, but meandered is the word I'd use for that.
Okay, Luc Mornay.
Yeah, I will go with Steve also on that one. For me, it was too bad because the opening was really nice. They had a really nice hook. But it didn't build anything on that. It was just the opening, and that's too bad because the verse then was a bit got me off guard or something. I don't know, a bit off because I was trying to figure out what was going on when the vocals came in, and then after that wall of sound during the chorus was a bit too much because it just made the track a bit duller than they wished, because I guess they write something more aggressive, but the contrast didn't work to just make the track a bit too flat. So that's too bad, because I think they should redo a mix and rethink the chorus and make it more exciting.
Okay. Thank you very much, Luc Mornay. Mike Bennett.
I really liked it. The intro was brilliant. Mike Chapman and Nicky Chin and Bill Wayman, they always just have a brilliant opening for a track. Box on the Run springs to mind, Blockbuster. This is a different genre. I thought the vocal was laconic. And if you listen to bands like Jesus and Mary Chain, Spiritualized, Frank Black, Pixies, you have that kind of monotone vocal. I thought there could be more harmonies, especially at the end. I felt there could be more harmonies, and it needs a little bit of a mix. But what an exciting bunch of tracks we've heard so far. Very positive. I really liked it. It had a psychedelic element as well. Loved it.
Thank you, Mike Bennett. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, it had a touch of the British shoegazing community about it, and that that's a genre in itself. It was always something that I enjoyed the best of the genre, but anything past the absolute best, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I mean, I would put Oasis in that thing. For me, I loved Oasis, but all the other those other bands beneath them, I didn't. This song, it started out good, as you say. There's good musicianship. They played well, but the singer wasn't. And this is the genre, but I want the singer to look me in the eye and to sell me the song. And I'm not being sold a song. I'm being like, he's sort of singing in the background. I don't think about me, guys. I'm just the singer. No, I always want the singer to be wanting to own the track. Now, the genre here doesn't need that, But if the genre doesn't need it, you need amazing melodies like Noel Gallagher would write. And these melodies were not quite as good. So for me, a B minus, but still pretty good.
Okay, so looking for much more committal within the song, so we feel like we believe what they're singing about. Thank you, Steve Lillywhite. Barry Upton.
Yeah, pretty much the guys have all said what needs to be said about this track, really. The only thing I can add is, as Steve was saying about Oasis, I wrote down Oasis while it was playing. But the difference between this and a good Oasis track is that you can hear every lyric from Noel Gallagher or Liam Gallagher. They have a clarity about their voices. And part of that was being muffled by the guitars a little bit in this production. But the singer, maybe it's to do with a bit of EQ, but I think he needs to pronounce his words just a little bit better so that we can understand. And like Steve Lillywhite was saying, it'll say something to me by you hearing the lyrics and the message that they're trying to get across, and that they didn't do that. And I also thought it lacked a bit of melody. I thought the melody got a little bit boring towards the end. So they need to work on their sound a little bit, but it sounds like they have something.
Yes, well, lovely artists from the Philippines. The point of all of this is to ensure that you get international exposure. And that's what we are doing, exposing artists from the Philippines and their music from the Philippines to audiences around the world, but also audiences in the Western world. And so to some degree, please do take on this advice from all of the record producers here, because it's quite something to get the advice of people like Steve Lillywhite, Barry Upton, Steve James, Luke Mornay and Mike Bennett. It's quite something to get them to listen to more than 30 seconds of your song. So the full track.
That's true.
That's very true.
It is.
First chorus, that's it.
ADHD and my...
Well, it actually is true, because, of course, I get sent a lot of music every single week, which is for airplay. And you go through your 30, 40 seconds and you either think, yeah, I'll play up, no. And when you get hundreds coming in all the time, Anyway, this is what have we got coming up next? We have got the band Ina Mori, or Enna Mori, or Ina. I think it's Enna Mori, and the song is called Heartache Generation.
Paper cups, the smell of confetti. I'm bleaching my hair for my 25th party. I wasn't born then, I wasn't anybody. I wasn't born then, I wasn't anybody. Oh no, I need to know what goes around comes back to hunt. Oh, let me go, I need a reconnection now. Don't let me go, not in this generation, no. Don't let me go, not in this generation. Forget about it, think about it now. Heartache generation, take up a face and the perfume. So forget about it, think about it now. Heartache generation, so bad it's perfect. Don't you take my moment. Ooh. I take up a face and the perfume. So my breath till I am part of the solar, and I think of then. Earth wasn't formed yet, no earth wasn't formed yet, and nobody loves nobody else. But they seem to figure out the system, and I don't know it at all. Do I get to keep my mind consistent, or do I change at all? To know what goes around comes back to hunt. Oh, let me go, I need a reconnection, no. Don't let me go, not in this generation, no. Don't let me go, not in this generation. Forget about it, think about it now. Heartache generation, take up my moments.
Wow, Anna Mori and Heartache Generation. Gosh, Prince, Lena Lovitch. I mean, everything came through there. Amazing. Okay, so the artist Anna Mori is a singer-songwriter. She's a walking musical paradox owing to her Japanese Filipino pedigree. Starting a musical journey at a young age as a classical pianist, Anna Mori uses her dynamic range in different musical influences and creates her own sophisticated sound. The actual song, Heartache Generation, the song is inspired by how I feel, she says, when I'm pressured to fit into society that moves so swiftly and not being able to catch up, the fear of getting older. Ooh, that's probably very Japanese female. Who should we have go first? Barry Upton.
That was a good slice of pop. I really enjoyed it. I'll tell you what it reminded me of. Some of those that you mentioned a little while ago there, Prince and Lena Lovitch, but Scritti Politti.
Yes.
I was a great fan of Scritti Politti. I thought they were clever, intelligent records, and they were great pop records. The one thing that they had, which this doesn't have so much, is a great hook. That the actual title, Heartache Generation, is a wonderful title, but I think that should have come out a little bit more in the song. However, I really enjoyed it. It from the beginning to the end. It kept my attention, and I think she's recorded it very, very well. And there were some really lovely moments in it, but I liked it. It's intelligent pop.
Thank you, Barry Upton. Mike Bennett.
Barry, you pipped me at the post as usual. Heartache Generation is a fantastic title. It's expressive. A title really, really important. And there were all these different elements, and the little flute came in, and it kept me on all of my toes, which was brilliant. I think Luke would do a good job with this, by the way. Got that funny. Absolutely brilliant. And what I've noticed is there is a great appetite to experiment in all of these tracks, and this one did not let me down. It was fantastic. Loved it.
Thank you. Yes, there's very little beats a very sexy slap bass guitar, I think. Luke Mornay.
Thank you, Mike. I love the track. Amazing vocals, great production as well. The title also was wonderful. Maybe needs a little bit of structure and production at some bits to keep the focus, because I think maybe it lacked a bit of focus, and I would make also the intro a little bit shorter, because in the beginning you feel like, okay, maybe I'm gonna drop the track, and then you get surprised. So the anticipation was good, but I would just make the intro a bit shorter. That's about it. But it's a wonderful track, amazing vocals and great songs. So. Yeah, it's great. Loved it.
Thank you. Well, Luke, you, of course, have worked a lot with artists like Kylie Minogue, for example. So, you know a lot about that kind of more the dance element of the pop side of things as well, when you kind of club them up, especially those versions. Thank you for that. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, I really liked it. It's the Scritti Politti song that I love Would Be's. That was my favourite of their songs. It was absolutely brilliant, and I was always waiting for them to come out with a whole string of wonderful records after that. But he seemed to have either lost the plot or decided not to write. I don't know. I did some Googling recently about Scritti Politti, and they don't really. He's not really active anymore, I think. But anyway, that's another conversation. What I love about this show, Dawn, is the fact that one of us will say, I think so-and-so would do so well with this track. We have our ideas about what each of us do. And of course, none of us have ever seen what any of us do, because we're work in our own little vacuums. And I love that Mike thinks Luke could do well on that song. He has no idea. I have no idea. But it's so funny how we have our preconceptions of what we think we all do. I've had it from, sometimes Barry will say, "Oh, that sounds like a Lillywhite song," something like that. And it's funny. This isn't really, I don't think I've ever made a record like this, but it doesn't mean I can't appreciate it. And it kept my interest because it did have some production values in it that were like, oh my God, that shouldn't be there. And I think maybe it's because when you're working in the Philippines, you don't have that pressure to make it within a formula. And what you can do, you can be much more free out there. So well done. Well done, whoever her team is, because I'm sure, she probably has a team of people to help make her records. Well done.
Thank you, Steve Lillywhite. Yes, there was that fabulous fusion between funk and much more populist stuff as well. It was really good. Lovely. Steve James.
Great production. Loved it. Incredibly well programmed, because there's a lot of programming going on in that. I loved her vocals. I got the Tori Amos thing. I don't know if anybody else got that, particularly that last bit where she goes up and does that lovely high thing. I wanted to hear that again, to be honest. That was almost the chorus for me. But brilliant. I thought that was really excellent. And compared to the song that we heard before, the vocal was right there. Cute. Really cool. I'd love to do something like that, but of course I don't ever do things like that. But I thought that was excellent. No, there's no guitars in it, But loved it. Thought it was great. The only thing I'd say is that lovely bit. I think you saw me, Dawn, when I said, "Oh, that's gorgeous." Yeah. Let's hear that bit again. There was that end section. Strangely, I wanted to hear it go on a little longer, which is unusual for me. But I did. I thought it was great.
Yes, very cleverly put together song, and the bit that you're talking about went over twice because both of us just sort of went, "Oh, that sounds good."
I wanted to hear it again.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for submitting that track, Enna Mori with Heartache Generation. Is it something I will play on my show? My goodness, yes, absolutely. Really, really enjoyed that. Okay, now the next band. The next band I'm going to play or artist are KRNA. So let me just let's just have a look here, and it's pronounced Karen, as in KRNA, Karena, I think it is. Perhaps that. I'm getting confused here. Anyway, the track is called Dream Again.
I'm
Karena is how that, it's K-R, the letters K-R-N-A, but pronounced Karena. And that is Dream Again. Let me give you some insider info that I have here. That is Karena, pronounced Kirena. Karena. Okay. Inspired by the Japanese term kira-ina, which easily translates to beautiful. Karena produces original songs, renditions, live performances and music videos that coincide with this meaning. Karena elevates Filipino music with passion and innovation. The song meaning, Dream Again, is described as an anthem of yearning. At the same time, fear of denial and rejection. The ambivalence of strong emotions leaves one to exist in dreams and be left unnoticed by the real world. And the insider info there is that members of Karena are the main producer of the local gigs in Cagayan de Oro City in the Philippines. Steve Lillywhite, would you like to go first on this one?
Okay, well, look at the stars, see how they shine for you.
Oh.
It's exactly the same as the chords of Yellow by Coldplay. And therein lies the problem, because it you know what, just the sound of the song for me, if I close my eyes, I was standing at the back of a hall here listening to a sound check. That's the sort of sound I was getting. And I didn't hear anything in the front of. It's nice to have that big washy sound, but some elements have to be in the front of your face, because you want the depth of that. I don't know. I mean, there was something there that I liked, but I didn't hear any musical hooks either. It was just a guitar playing and the echoey voice, the echoey drums, the echoey guitar. It was all just on one sort of plane.
Yes.
I would dry it up. I would speed it up a little bit, give it a little more energy. When you're releasing a single, I mean, it's a nice track, will be nice for an album, but for a single version, and this song could do it. It could be sped up a bit. It could be that they could work on some more musical hooks through the song and just dry it up. Take some of those reverbs off, bring it closer to your face, and they may have something.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve Lillywhite. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, the problem with this kind of track a little bit is when, like Steve said, with this kind of washy sound, when the vocals are starting to play their role, they really have to take the track someplace, And I felt that the vocal, the singer was great, but it fell out of context. So it made the track, it built all the conditions for dreaming, It was a bit too chill. I don't know, something was wrong with the track, in my opinion. It could have worked in something more, let's say, more spacey or more, I don't know how to say it. Build a more washy sound, but not more electronic sound. Something is build a different vibe, but the vibe didn't work with the guitars, because at some point it was like, okay, we were a bit lost in the track, and it's too bad, because the singer was great, the song was not that bad, but the context was wrong for me.
Okay, thank you very much, Luke Mornay, and Mike Bennett.
Okay, I'm not going to concentrate so much on the EQs on the voice, because that's already quite rightly been pointed out. But actually on the vocal performance, it was all on one level. And it could be a lot better if there was a more, say, breathy approach on the verse and some harmonies on the chorus. I thought that the drums were quite ploddy, the way that they came in, and it was all along one level. And so the backing track, as I'm going to call it, was on the wrong side of ordinary for me, but there is potential there, and she does have a great voice. I think that she could use her range and her different vocal approaches, experiment with them, be a little bit more quiet and intimate on the verses, and then let the choruses crash out, maybe with some big harmonies.
Okay, sounds like we're all saying it's lacking a bit of excitement here. Steve James.
Well, I'm going to say the same thing. The backing track's what lets it down. The drums actually slowed down in a couple of places, which I can't stand. I could feel it pulling and pushing too much. I don't mind a bit, but that was pulling, and it was all too washy. She's got a lovely voice. There is a song in there somewhere, but the backing, there was no. It was too washy. The everything around it was no focus, as Steve Lillywhite pointed out. The vocal was too wet, but it was the backing track, and there's no groove to it. That was the problem for me. I couldn't groove to it at all, which is because it was so airy. Another mix thing maybe, and also the vocal didn't move around the melody enough. But she has got a lovely voice, and the bits of it were really lovely, I thought. But it was the backing track that really got me. It needs to swing, and it doesn't have any swing to it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Steve James. Barry Upton.
Well, the first thing I thought was earlier on there was a track about the Manila traffic. But if I was in Manila traffic going really slow, I wouldn't want to hear a complicated song like that. This is the kind of thing that I would like to see, which would probably chill me out a little bit more. Dream Again, the title, really and truly, you've got to transcend that into the music. And the thing that I think maybe that Luke was looking for to make it sound that little bit better, take out the drums, because the drums didn't add to it. They didn't do anything. So if you had a lovely floaty song, okay, the reverbs weren't great. You know, if you had really good quality reverbs on the voice and the different reverbs on the backing track, maybe that would separate it out a bit. But I know Steve James, I thought straight away, Steve James is going to say, take out all the reverbs. But I really think vocal-wise as well, what would make it more interesting is, as Mike said, a little bit more breathy maybe, but I think her phrasing as well. If it's starting to get a little bit ploddy. The vocal was sounding ploddy. So I thought a couple of times, if she just had a different, listen to Joni Mitchell and all the different phrasing that she does, and then put a little bit of that into this, where you can, if you're not trying to be a dance record and you're not trying to work the vocal with the drums, then you have license to experiment and be a little bit more experimental with the phrasing.
Yes, of course. Thank you very much, Barry Upton. Well, as it is, it's probably not a track that I will be playing very often on my radio show, because it's not igniting the imagination, and it's not sort of exciting my soul, and that's quite important. I think it's all music needs to excite or do something, evoke something when we hear it. The next artist is called Bird, and the track is San Juan. Bird, and the track was San Juan. So let me read a little bit about the insider info. And so the song title, San Juan, the band Bird. Bird is just a bunch of dudes, Tryna, Tryna, make good music and nice clothes. Interesting. Okay. And the song, the song meaning, San Juan, the song title is that. This is a song about finding one's sanctuary amidst the chaos of the situation that he's in. And Bird is back in the studio writing their next record right now. Barry Upton.
For me, this one, it's just a noise. It was a bad mix. I wanted to hear a little bit more hi-hat on the drums because they just sounded wrong. It didn't sound complete. The vocal wasn't clear. There was too many effects on the backing instruments. I think they went a little bit crazy. So all in all, I didn't get any enjoyment out of this record at all, and it's not something I would like to hear again.
Ouch. Okay. And Luc Mornay.
The track had something, but I guess the contrast were wrong and not let's say. At some point here, there's after all the dreamy stuff and all the washy vocals, some harder vocals came in, and the guitar also played along, but it felt a bit shy, you know. So it didn't work that good. At some point, we didn't know what we were listening to, you know. It lacked focus a little bit and production. It reminded me of a track. That you two did actually, Electrical Storm with William Orbit and all this stuff. You know, the contrast was good, and the let's say there were more contrast in the track from the vocalist as well, and they need to redo everything, I guess, on that track and to rethink the track because the elements are nice, but it's not working as it should.
Okay, I quite liked it, actually. It took me into a dreamy space somewhere. Mike Bennett.
Well, they're finding sanctuary. They're called Bird. What about finding a bird sanctuary? I thought it was great in a way. It reminded me of a 4AD record, Cocteau Twins. Shoegazing seems to be the order of the day here. More shoegazing here. I thought some backwards vocals would be quite good, like a Cocteau Twins record, or they reminded me a bit of Lush, a band called Lush, again on 4AD records. Something lacking in the percussive department, but they're interesting enough for me to certainly check out.
Okay, thank you, Mike Bennett. Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought that was great. It annoyed me because I felt that there was greatness. For me, you see, this one compared to the other sort of shoegazing song, I much prefer this. Yeah. This I feel like, you know, the voice is great. I mean, you don't know it's great because you can't hear it. But with my, you know, with our ears, and I'm, you know, I know that the voice is great, and I know how you can pull it out. And no, that was really nice. I really enjoyed it. It had yeah, that's a band I would love to see live. And then, you know, once you see a band like that live, you will definitely then know how to sonically place them on a record. Yes. You know, it's very important for me to always see a band live because then you're hearing them when they're not thinking. You know, when you make a record, you're always thinking, and that our job as producers sometimes is to put them in a place where they're not thinking, because when they play live, they're fantastic.
Yes.
So you have to, you know. But no, that was great. I really enjoyed it. Sorry, Barry.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, as I said, I did too. I like that. Steve James.
I couldn't. The vocal was too buried for me. I needed to hear I liked all the washiness stuff. Lack of groove again for me. But I did like what they were trying to get at. It's a mixed thing again. Too washy, too many effects on everything. So there's no definition. So you can't actually hear what all the rhythm goes. As soon as you start putting too many effects on stuff, you can't hear what people are actually playing anymore because everything's bouncing off other stuff and the syncopation goes. But it was okay, but mixed thing again, interesting. I liked his voice. I like the mood that they're trying to create, but it's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
One to keep your eye on.
Okay, so that is Bird, and San Juan is the name of that track. I liked it. Will I play it on my set? Actually, yeah, I probably will. I rather enjoyed that, and I think it's... Sorry? Somebody saying something?
No, play it, please.
No. On my show, I probably will. No, sorry, I could hear something in the background, a noise in the background there. So Bird and San Juan. Now, the next artists that we are going to play are called. It's pronounced Sauce, but it's actually spelled SOS, capital S, capital O, capital S, as in help. But it's pronounced Sauce. Sauce is an indie pop band, and the track is called Please Lang.
Nakulang, dehado, pinilit masyado. Ayoko ng drama, ikaw lang yung tama. Lumaban sa dulo, parehong natalo.
That was Sauce, as in SOS, and the track was called Please Lang. Now, about the artist. The band SOS, pronounced Sauce, is an indie pop band from Manila in the Philippines, formerly known as She's Only 16. I remember a joke about that. Anyway, that's another thing altogether. They derive their influences from genre and era-spanning styles, juxtaposing occasionally anthemic, often inescapable rhythms and lyrics, themes that explore realist jadedness in almost real-time weariness. And the song title, Please Lang, it's all about this. It's a sad song that focuses on what happened rather than what could have been. It's also just good fun, really, being able to laugh or have a sense of humour while experiencing inevitable heartbreak. Eventually, the song takes a darker turn as the song settles, things come to an end, and we just have to accept it. Gosh. Well, Mike Bennett.
Okay. This had no washiness at all. Everything was quite dry. I thought actually we could
Mike, can you come a bit closer to the microphone, please?
Is that better, Dawn? Is that better?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. The song was very dry, and we could add washiness on those acoustic guitars. I'm going to mention that Eventide harmonizer again, and maybe track them up, maybe 12 strings, something like that. It meandered for me, but it was fun. I haven't heard a track that has completely bad things all through it. There are a lot of virtues in this song. I think that it needs structure, and there are some production issues, and I wasn't sure about the drums.
Okay, what were you not sure about with them?
Just the sound of them. I think that it needed something else percussively.
Right, okay. Well, the man to help us on that would be Steve James. Steve James.
I enjoyed that, actually. I mean, I thought the vocal was lovely. It was fresh and open, and there was no effects on anything. It was nice to hear something straightforward and up in your face, really. I thought it was. I'd love to know what it was about more, but I thought the vocal was delightful, and I thought the whole treatment of it was kind of cool. I really enjoyed that.
Okay.
Slide guitar would have sounded good.
Yes, well, it's as, although maybe you couldn't work out what it was about, but it's, as I just said, it was a sad song that focuses on what happened and the inevitable breakup and heartbreak in a relationship. Barry Upton.
The song didn't bother me, but at the same time, it didn't excite me. So I'm a bit on the fence with this one. I thought that it needed a little bit more arrangement. And as Mike was saying, just add a percussion or another type of acoustic guitar or something. But it needed something because the vocal was nice, but it didn't sort of grab you at all. And I know it's not in our language and we can't understand what the words are. But like we said earlier, there was a song in Filipino that it still spoke to us, even though we didn't understand the lyrics. And this one didn't for me. I got a little bit bored halfway through it. It did sound a little bit like a Steve Harley type of record. And the vocal was a little bit Steve Harley-ish as well, which was nice. And there's something there, but it's and as I say, it wasn't a bad record. It just didn't thrill me.
Okay, Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of "You're Gorgeous" by Baby Bird.
I loved that song.
You know, which was a great song. This started out great for me. You know, the instrumentation was nice. You had it was very tasteful. Halfway through, I just started to feel, okay, where is it going to go now? It didn't quite go any further. Now, obviously, a lyric can really make that work, and I don't understand the lyrics. So perhaps, you know, if you're listening in Filipino, you don't need a little bit of production value from the second half of the song just to boost it a little bit. But no, very good, as I say, and very pleasant, nicely recorded, whoever did that. Well done, guys.
The language is called Tagalog, of course,
you see, that's a great word.
It is,
Tagalog.
isn't it? Well, it actually is very Tagaloggy because it's quite a sort of choppy language as well. It's a lovely language.
Tagaloggy, I love it.
Well, Tagalog is okay. Luke Mornay.
Yeah, I also love the track. It was really enjoyable. The singer was great. It kind of dragged us into his composition. So maybe that, like Steve said, maybe with the language you don't need that much production value on top of that to make it work. It felt like they were playing with the drums a lot to bring some tension and bring some climax on some lyrics. So maybe it makes sense in the language. What else? None of it, and it's not. And the thing with this kind of tracks is you can't really drag them somewhere because everything is already there. You know, the song, the way the song is written. So maybe the language would help us understand better the idea behind this. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Luke Mornay. And now we are going to play our final track for this morning, and then after this one, well, we'll all chat about this one first. So the final track is by Pink Men, and the song is called Art Song. Here we go.
Give you flowers, impractical flowers. He will give you chocolate, then he'll call you fat. But there's nothing that I have, he can never give. It's my fucking art, my fucking art. He'll give you Ferrero, it is sweet, but I'm sweeter than Ferrero, and I won't call you fat. But there's nothing wrong with being fat. No, there's nothing wrong with that. One thing that I have, he can never give. It's my fucking art, my fucking art. Renaissance break. there's nothing wrong with being fat. No, there's nothing wrong with that. One thing that he can never give. It's my broken heart. It's forgiven. My broken heart. It's forgiven. That is something. That's my
is a world history of art.
Art Song and Pink Men. Well, I love the fact that, you know, we're always talking about emotion coming out into songs. Well, that's an art and a half there, I think. Let's have a look at the details here about the band and about the song. So the artists are Pink Men, the name of the band, and Pink Men push the boundaries of Filipino music with a modern merging of rock, psychedelia, folk and Manila sound. With rich vocal harmonies and compelling arrangements, their songs meander from vulnerable and dreamy to playful and euphoric. Well, I think we all had a smile on our faces as that song was playing out just there. The song title is Art Song, and it's a trippy musical odyssey of sorts. It talks about how there are only things you can do that no one else can do out of love for your own art. And they're saying that they'll be releasing a new single on June the 13th called Di Parin Sapat. And that's a bit of Tagalog for you there. So, Steve Lillywhite, would you like to go first? Oh, Steve, you need to unmute yourself, please. Thank you.
That was weird. I didn't mute myself.
I did. There were people talking as they brought me food, so I muted them.
Okay. That was, I loved it. It was great. I mean, how could you not enjoy listening to that? It reminded me of sort of Syd Barrett, Pink Floyd, and very, very innocent, lovely times. And you can feel the joy they had when they recorded it. And the middle section, when it went to the flute and the sort of, that was great. Unexpected. That's what we all want to hear. You know, we want to hear things that are unexpected but work.
Yes,
great.
I love the original sound.
Yeah, will they fill stadiums? Not yet. But, you know, when you heard Syd Barrett with Pink Floyd on those early records, you didn't know that they would turn into that Pink Floyd. So who knows? But well done. You know, keep at it. Keep at it. Follow your muse, as we would say.
Okay. And Luc Monet.
Yeah, I love that track. It was really brilliant. It was really arty, and I like it. Was funny. It was original as well. I liked some bits were a bit. It was out of time, and I love that when people have still, let's say, in current times, still have this musicality in them of from the 60s, 70s. I love that, and this was brilliant. It reminded me also a little bit of a polyphonic spree. Sometimes they can go really crazy and do stuff. So it was really current times, past histories, past sounds. I loved it. Really brilliant, fantastic record for me.
Thank you. And Steve James.
I just wrote Syd Barrett down. That was fantastic. You know, I'm a huge Syd Barrett fan. Brilliant, loved it. I just brought a smile to my face. Every section that went through was another surprise. And then when they started screaming in that bit, it was just nothing wrong being fat. It's brilliant, loved it. I want to hear that one again.
Okay, well, we will get the chance to hear the winning song
that was great.
again.
That was great. That was
so
refreshing too.
It depends on how we vote on which song, and it may be that there are two favourites or more. Barry Upton.
Loved it. It was just, you could see all the screens. We could see see each other, and we were smiling, we were laughing. So that's entertainment. It was great entertainment. I think the lyrics were good. There's some very interesting lines in that. And it was great that they musically they put those stops in, which made the lyrics stand out even more, so you could hear it very good. The lead vocal delivery was excellent. I mean, that's really something that we talk about a lot, is that sometimes the vocal lacks it. Well, that had it in abundance, and I would love to spend time with these people.
Yes, really, really good, fun track there. And Mike Bennett.
Well, perhaps if Polyphonic Spree and Syd Barrett had a child, this would be it. It had the sort of sardonic lyric kind of ideas of 10cc even. If you listen to some of their albums, original soundtrack, that kind of thing. But it was great fun. And it's the last track on the show. And I always think that's a difficult slot. But if this show was to be a compilation album, I'd start with it.
Okay. Well, it would certainly be opening us up to some surprises, wouldn't it? Now, I have to say that I would definitely, and I will be playing that on my show, on my breakfast shows in the mornings, because it is so entertaining, and it's got that lovely comedic element as well to it, and it takes us all the way through quite a few things. And I'm looking forward to flowers and boxes of chocolates and all this sort of stuff. And it's just a very funny song there. Well, the next Asian show coming in from the Indochina countries, there'll be Cambodia, Laos and Myanmar, and these are very emerging markets where you'll hear a blend of modern and traditional native instruments blended in unique styles, and that will be Friday the 28th of June. So if we can all make a point of that date. Of course, Jukebox Judgment takes place every Friday, but the ones deemed for the AXEAN Festival are the Fridays at the end of each month leading up to the end of September, when we will be in person in Bali at the festival. So, so 28th of June, that is. Then we move to Indonesia on Friday, the 26th of July. Then back to Singapore on Friday, the 30th of August, before we head across to Bali for the third physical AXEAN Festival from the 27th to the 29th of September. And the festival will also bring in 80 international music industry delegates to place in front of artists, making sure that they secure future opportunities by performing at AXEAN Festival. And details of the bands performing at the AXEAN Festival will be announced on the 11th of June, where you can find more details on AXEANfestival.com. That's AXEAN festival.com. Well, I have to say thank you enormously to everybody that's been assisting and putting together all of the artists for us here on Jukebox Judgment. Now, lovely judges, and we all thank you as well. But lovely judges, what we need now is for each of you very quickly to give me your vote so that we play the winning track for today. I'm going to start with you, Steve Lillywhite.
Yeah, I thought the quality was very good. I heard some great guitar riffs, and I think original guitar riffs are very difficult to find nowadays. But I have sort of three that I felt. I mean, most of them were very good. I've got three that I liked, with one probably a little bit more. The three I like are Enamori with Heartache Generation. I loved Pink Men with Art Song, but I'll probably slightly just give a quick tweak for Sega, one click straight.
Okay, thank you very much, Luke.
Yeah, One Click Straight is the one that I just put slightly ahead.
Thank you, Luke Mornay.
Yeah, I have the same selection. But I will go with Sega. It was brilliant, but it's heart-wrenching because Pinkman was fantastic as well. So
thank you. And Mike Bennett.
I liked Mazzaboy. Was that the name of the song? Mazzaboy?
Yeah.
Mazzaboy was the very first one. That was the name of the band.
Like Mazzaboy, Sega, and that last track. Do I have to just choose
You have
one?
to choose just one, please, your favourite.
Sega.
Okay, thank you very much. And Steve James.
I've got the same three. Well, no, I've got Sega, Heartache Generation, and Pinkman, but I think Sega wins.
Okay, yes, it's got 4 votes so far. Barry Upton.
I've got the same 3 as well. Sega, I've done well. Pinkman, I think that was just a really entertaining track. But I'm going to have to say, as a pop guy, I really enjoyed Enamori, and that's got maximum points for me. So that's the one I'm choosing.
Thank you very much. Now, and I am also voting on this, and I will be playing, without any shadow of doubt, on my show, I will be playing Pinkman, Enamori, and Sega. And Sega, for me, is the outstanding winner of the day as well. Hurrah for Sega. Well, well, I say guest, kind of resident dream team of record producers of mine here. Thank you so much for joining us this morning here on Jukebox Judgment. I say this morning where I am in the UK, but of course you are all hours ahead all around the world. Philippine artists, thank you so much for your songs, also in English and in Tagalog. And I feel very proud that we're able to give international exposure to artists from all around the world. Thank you. If anybody out there, if you would like to listen to this again, then join us on www.365radio.co. Head to Sounds in the menu bar, and that will be absolutely fabulous. Now we are going to play Where Is It Gone? It's trying to escape me, but we're not going to let it escape us. Where are we here? Sega by One Click Straight. Thank you all so much.
Biglang may na naman. Palagi lang siyang nakabang. Hinihintay ka lang mapahiya ulit. Palagi nauto, pinaglalaruan. Kapag ayaw ibibigay talaga sa'yo. Palagi lang pabiro, pinagtatawanan. Kapag gusto alam, hindi mangyayari ito. Kabalitara lang para sa'yo. We don't care. That's not fair. Yeah, we don't care.
Seeger on one straight click there. Well, we're off air now.
We're off air. Can we just talk about how brilliant that second verse is? How
Yeah.
they change the rhythm of the melody, and then there's that wonderful, like almost Beach Boysy thing right at the very end. It's
Yeah.
just, sometimes, when people
the
do a second
dynamics.
verse. What's that?
The dynamics of how it suddenly comes down.
Yeah. But the rhythm of the vocal is not the same as on the other verses.
No.
It's on the first verse. It's
Through
just
nature, isn't it?
There's a counter rhythm
Yeah.
or something.
really, really, really great. I mean,
really
it is very Smashing Pumpkins. If anyone is a fan of knows the Smashing Pumpkins, but hey, there you go.
It sounds like a radio record.
And
Yeah.
Barry, I think you're right. In French, it's saying "et voilà," which means there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I heard a bit of French.
Yeah, I thought I heard a
it
bit of
was,
French
yeah.
as well.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I say
Yeah,
"et voilà," "et voilà," and it's like "there you go."
Well spotted. Were they actually doing it in French? I mean, was that on purpose or is it a spot of Tagalog?
I don't know.
No, I think
but
I think they were doing it on purpose.
Et voilà.
I think you're going to be saying Tagalog all day. You love saying it, don't you? You can see the joy in her face.
My stepbrother, unfortunately, he died during COVID. But my stepbrother lived in the Philippines and also in Malaysia. But he was a real polyglot, and he wrote 7 books in a polyglot.
What's a polyglot?
A polyglot is somebody like me who speaks lots of languages, and you emulate the languages.
Okay. I've
and
learnt something.
A polyglot. So, but he wrote 7 books in Tagalog, all about the language of Tagalog. It's an interesting one, and there are variations of it. So there you
That's
go.
what I was about to say. There's quite a few variations, isn't there?
There's Flobberlob, which was in the Wooden Tops.
That's it. That's where it comes from.
And did any of you
By Tagalog.
Did any of you ever learn? My sister and I we hated it when people would know what we were saying. And it didn't matter what language we were speaking. There was always some bastard who'd know what we were saying. So we developed our own language. And the first language we developed was in M's, which was very funny because everything is M's, all the letter M's all the way through. And then we did Eggy Peggy language, that was great fun. Did any of you ever learn Eggy Peggy?
No, but it started in Jamaica, wasn't it? Where the slaves didn't want to be, they wanted to be able to speak so that the slave masters didn't. So it was Jamaican patois, and I think
Right.
Singapore have it a little bit as well, where they speak English in such a way that you can't really understand what it's being said.
Unless you grew up there.
Unless you grew up there.
I got to know how to talk that. So much.
I've got twins that speak their own language so that I don't understand what they're saying.
I love it.
That's great.
Yeah, I love it. Eggy Peggy's the funniest though, because it's actually really, really easy. But you add in Eggy and Peggy, well, the Eggy bit in between where all the vowels are. So if I want to go to the shops, Ego, Wagon, Tego, Gago, Tego, they go Shagops. And people don't understand it, but it becomes very easy to do. And it's lovely when you have other people that know what you're doing. There we go.
That's for very young brains that are very active. For old brains, I think that's impossible.
Yeah.
It's like the Shirley Ellis song, The Name Game, you know, it's really crazy. I don't know if you heard that song.
I can't think of it. The name game.
The name game, they have to put, let's say, letters between names and try to recompose every sentences. It's really crazy to remember. To make it sound really easy, but it's hell to remember.
By Shirley Ellis, did you say?
Yeah, it's called the name game.
I've got it. Let's hear it.
The name game. Shirley, Bo Burley, Bonana.